Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. Now, today on Saturday I usually make a video where I like to talk about the things that are happening in the world, but today I mainly want to focus on, I have really one question that I'm asking to myself. Now, am I detaching from the reality, or am I detaching from a fake reality? Let's go a bit philosophical, let's go a bit sociological today. To discuss this reality that we are living. Obviously, we are all taking our own decisions, we are all taking our steps, and every day we are facing problems and dynamics and so on. But my question is about the reality that I'm living. Now, let's focus in the beginning of the video on the reality that I'm living, because I'm very happy of my life, for example. So I don't think I'm detaching from the reality. Now, the reality is the life that I choose. So, for example, again, I keep repeating, but to relocate in a small place, in a small community, very slow life. So, to try to concentrate and to focus on myself, because I believe that this is the most important thing in this world where, and now I enter in the other chapter, the fake reality. In this world where we are immersed, we are full of information coming from all the direction, I think we can only get more and more and more confused by the things that are happening, and in particular by the news that we are listening every day on the news, or we are watching constantly on the phone, on our smartphones. So now, for me, it's very important to understand what the reality is. If it's what I see every day around me, or if it is what I see every day on a screen, or on a television, or on the medias. Because now, I want to detach, personally, from the fake reality. I start believing not that everything that is shown to me on the smartphone is fake, because I cannot say this, but I see a kind of direction. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but each time I'm listening to something that happened here and there, obviously many things are, these things are true. If an event happened, but then how this event is manipulated and orchestrated, directed by someone. Now, these events that are happening are not directed by me. I'm just Antonio Mantarecchia. All I want is to live my simple life, my everyday life, seriously, without being affected by what's happening. But then I notice that, anyway, people around me are affected by these things. So, for me, it's a bit difficult in the way that each time I'm dealing with someone and I'm discussing about things that are happening, I feel like these things are directed by us. But we are just paying the consequences of these things directed by someone else. Now, who decides to start a war? Do I decide to start a war? Do you decide to start a war? Nobody with a bit of common sense would like to start a war, for example. Then, obviously, things are happening, but are not decided by me. So, I'm not taking it. The moment is not something, a bad action, is not decided by me, I'm not taken. Then it's always because they want us to be or on one side or on another. But for example, me, that I stopped believing in the duality. The duality is a concept that sometimes I take it out from my in my speeches, simply because the duality is made for us to be divided constantly. Dividi et impera, from the Romans anyway, they knew it very well. And the thing for me is that if we all constantly take a position, it's not working in our favor, absolutely. The fact that, then anyway, am I able, the question is, before I take a position, this position that I'm taking, is it based on just what someone said, the director, or is based on my knowledge, or is based because I went deep in that topic, I went deep in that subject, because things are not as they are shown to us. And that's where I want to detach. That's where I refuse kind of to be part of this society. And this is why I refuse, and I decided, for example, to move in a place where the life, yes, everyone has the television, everyone has the smartphone, but when we are living in a small reality, for example, yes, we see, what do I see? I see what is shown on a screen, and then I see a daily life. A daily life is tractors, a daily life is cows, a daily life is people going to the bar and they have their own beer and they have a coffee. Everyday life is socializing with your neighbors and talking a bit about this and about that. Then the other side of the coin, for example, of living in a place, in a city, in a big city, it's like to be part of a machine where we are constantly also facing crowds, and we are facing stressed people, and we are facing maybe crimes, and we are facing constantly unhappy people. Now, I'm far from this, because the more the more we live in a small reality, the less, for example, we witness the things that also these dynamics. Obviously, the bigger is the place, the more people are affected. We are all affected by what we see on a screen. But when we live in a place that is crowded, obviously these energies are kind of spreading, and we can even touch, then kind of we can really touch with our hands what we see on the screen. Now, the thing, for example, that here, because the reality is different from what I see on the screen, it's even hard sometimes to put the two things together. And that's the big advantage that I find in living in a small town and in a rural community. And that's why I want to keep repeating that I consider that the decision that I took to move, to relocate to a small town, to a small place, has been the best decision that I could have taken in the recent years. Obviously, was already 5 years ago when I started processing that I wasn't happy in the city. But it started, let's say, even before. I can say that started in between 5 and 10 years. Obviously, my life before, when I was younger, but also the dynamics in the world were completely different. Yes, it's true. Let's say before 2008, I could say that everything was kind of fantastic. Everyone was having their own life, spending money, parties, alcohol, concerts, and all these things that I wish we would have today, for example. But today, even if we go into these routines that I just mentioned before, for example, people are not living the same dynamics with the same structure that that I was living, and probably everyone who is watching was living before. Now I know my public is a quite elderly public. I mean, let's say 45 plus, 55 plus, 65 plus, and we all remember the beautiful old days where life was much easier anyway, when to buy a house was less stressful and less complicated. I remember times when nobody cared about the interest rates, for example. Nowadays, don't dare to buy a property because there are interest rates. I'd say, okay, now this is economy, but these things are affecting us more nowadays because we notice that something is not really going as it should. And again, let's go back to the reality and the fake reality. Unfortunately, we are too much influenced by the fake reality. And the fake reality is also artificial intelligence. I'm not following these type of things. I like to say that I'm too old to enter in this type of I don't even know how to call it, you know. Anyway, this artificial intelligence. But why should I speak with a robot? Why should I ask something? Am I so lazy? For let's say something. For example, okay, I want to learn more about this. You know what I'm doing? Any topic. I go to the library. I go to the library. There are plenty of books. I love to go to the libraries. I love to read books, to have physical books. So if I want to know more about one subject, so I'm not gonna ask to the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence had been programmed by someone. It's not like the artificial intelligence born itself from somewhere, like I don't know, and oh, they have the knowledge and they can clarify. No. Artificial intelligence had been programmed by someone, so if we ask to that, even the books were written by someone. But if I want to investigate one topic, I'm not taking only one book. I'll try to take, I'll try to read from few books, from a few books, not only from one source. Now we became so lazy, and this laziness brought us to believe in the fake reality. That's the problem, I guess. Anyway, and I refuse to be part of this fake reality. Again, we might find ourselves supporting one other thing, supporting this, supporting that, without even knowing the truth. It's just about inputs, information, directed and programmed by someone. And so, from this point of view, so I don't regret the fact that I'm detaching. I'm detaching from the fake reality, but I'm also detaching from the real life, in the meaning that I don't feel like myself to be part of huge community or big movements. I don't want to join any movement. If I see someone who is saying, oh, let's join this, no, I don't even want to be part of someone who like a singer, because nowadays I find that even singers are manipulated and controlled, and they deliver messages that, I don't know, are artificially programmed, artificially planned. So I'd say that it's all a big mess out there. And so the less I'm into that mess, the more free I feel. The sense of freedom started the moment and I'm not anymore into that mess out there. And even when I'm reading news, or if I'm watching the news and saying, okay, this is what maybe someone wants me to believe. And it's always like that. We can be brainwashed. We are human. And as humans, we always been brainwashed since the beginning of the times. No brainwashing, no slavery. That's it. Very simple. And I don't want to be a slave. The only slave I want to be is to be the slave of myself. If I have to be at least slave of someone, I must be slave of myself. That's it. And before I'm going to process if this is right or this is wrong, I have to investigate myself, not by asking to a robot, oh, what is correct, what is this, what is that. I feel like an idiot. That is an answer that is already prepared for me. And maybe as an idiot, I ask that question at the same moment in the world. Maybe thousands of people ask the same question to a robot, to something that is not even humane, is not even... So, I don't see any benefits from this one. An algorithm that is prepared to think what I'm thinking, to try to promote me. No. I'm even saying most of the time, okay, if you advertise me this product, I'm not even gonna buy that product, simply because it had been advertised. Stop bombing me with these subliminal messages from the morning, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. We got plenty of subliminal messages where makes us slaves, and so then we are far, for me, from mental freedom. I don't want to be part of one side, and I don't want to be part of another side. All I have to do is be part of myself, self-centered, not selfish, self-centered. Alright, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this philosophical video, and I might make more in the future anyway. Obviously, I have my own philosophy. I love to think, I like to spend a lot of time with myself and trying to process and understand the real dynamics, not questioning to a smartphone. No way. And then I like to listen people. Now, if there is one advantage of the social medias, it is that if I'm watching 20 people sharing their opinion on YouTube, for example, until we have YouTube, maybe one day they're even gonna stop because they're not happy that people are sharing their own opinion. But I like to listen what different type of people think, from a guy in Vietnam, from a girl in Nigeria, to a guy in Birmingham, and another one in Los Angeles, and a one in Tokyo. So, simply to understand what are people's feelings, what people are feeling on their own skin, what's their goals in the future, how we are affected by this direction, these orchestrated movements. So, all to be slave of something. I don't know, I don't want to be part. So, I detached from the fake reality and also kind of partially from the big reality, and so I put myself in a small reality where all I see in the morning is few cows and roosters and tractors and donkeys and people thinking about basic needs. Alright, my friends, so I hope you have enjoyed this philosophical video, sociological, sociology, anthropology. There's a lot to study, there's a lot to know, and it's important that we keep not even our eyes open, our brain open. Alright, my friends, I'll see you to my next video here on Italy, A Place to Love YouTube channel, and bye for now, bye Antonio.